Hey guys, it's Tamara Rose Blodgett, and this is my Foxy look for today. So you guys might be wondering what I'm doing here. Well, I'm going to get ready to read a chapter from my newest work in progress. And a couple things. One is I just regained my voice. I've been quite sick since I got back from Mazatlan, and this is all I've got, okay? And it's been a scene, you guys. I finally got a little bit better sleep. It's just been miserable. Anyway, I got my hair up in my work thing. I can't even make it look good. And I got my Foxy cat eye glasses on, but I'm ready. And this book is a post-apocalyptic book. It's set where I'm living right now, okay? And it's about a group, 3 different groups of people, and they find some very genius type kids have messed around with one of the generators that powers our electricity. We have 3 in the United States, and they have some smaller ones as well. And the kids decide to mess around with that and then cause a big catastrophe. And this is book 3. I was going to make it a trilogy, but it looks as though it might have another book, because what happens is once I start writing, things present themselves, and different storylines and different endings and stuff. And so then I'm like, oh, that's going to happen, right? And these are blue blockers, guys. That's why they're kind of yellow. Anyway, this is my Foxy look. And so it's a post-apocalyptic fiction-based book series. I'm probably going to end up calling it the Through Darkness Chronicles, because I think that's what's going to happen. It's going to chronicle the different families that survived this disaster and how they cope with their new lives and stuff. How this is an exclusive work in progress retelling. So I just went through chapter 1 because I wanted to make sure it sounded okay. I just cleaned up a couple little typos and stuff, but it's rough. It'll be better when my editor goes through it. But basically, I'm a pretty clean writer at this stage because I've written a lot now, and I'm about just over 30% done with this, so I should be done with this book in about 2 months, and then it'll be in rough, and then I'll be starting on a couple of other books too. And I just want to say hi to one of my favorite subscribers, Jackie, and I know you're gonna like this YouTube. And then next week, I'm gonna do my YouTube on my experiment with clean fasting and OMAD again. It's been an absolute game changer, and it's a win, and I want you to tune in when I upload that video, because I'm going to wait till my 28 days are over, and then I'll have all the stats for you guys, because I want to have data to present with you. And I know it's just me. It's not like this big study with a bunch of people and stuff like that, but it's still anecdotal. It's still usable. And I'm a postmenopausal woman as well, and I have had some very youthful things manifest. So I was excited. This is Through a Dark Mirror. Book 1 is through Dark Glass, and book 2 is Through a Dark Lens, and this one is Through a Dark Mirror. So what we're doing here is book is the guy, it's from his perspective, and he's early 20s, and his name is Jackson Booker, but they call him Book. And this is in the month of September in 2035. Gage ducks his head, emitting a low growl. The sound reverberates in the suddenly silent space between where the girl stands and I do. But Gage isn't growling at her, but a noise only he can hear. Bell and Duke come to stand beside Gage. Bell wags the stub of his tail but cocks his head, joining in on the growl symphony. I do not fucking like this, says Jamal in a low voice that carries. His dark eyes canvass the horizon that leads to the entrance gate at the head of the neighborhood. Roth rounds the corner of the primary, arresting his momentum, latching a strong hand into the structure's corner. What's happening? Bren flicks his eyes to Roth. Trouble, he answers in a clipped tone. Tia, get inside, Protocol 1, Roth says. The corners of her eyes tighten, and she clutches baby Charlotte tighter. Roth. He levels a look at Tia that's so heavy, my jaw clenches at the sight of it. A weighted second sinks between everyone, then Tia gives a swallow so loud it clicks. Okay. Jamal, Roth says, eyes still on Tia's retreating back as she moves to the primary, passing through the back door beside where my dumped laundry has spilled like a colorful, forgotten rainbow of fabric. Yes, Haas, comes his gravelly reply. Get Lars, Protocol 1. Affirmative, Jamal answers instantly, sliding into a sort of military speak all of us dudes have adopted since the collapse. Jamal doesn't take time to look at anyone at first, but then he walks by Molly, slows, stops. He holds out his hand to her. His Adam's apple plows up and down as I watch them. I'm not asking, Jamal states gruffly. Molly's eyes filled with tears, and every person in our compound watches what it costs Molly to slide her hand inside his. Jamal gently hauls her behind him. Moving to the back door of the primary, Jamal uses his knuckles to beat out a rap we all know by heart now. A sliver of Tia's face appears, then it is gone as Jamal and Molly move through the door and out of sight. Moments later, the pounding of nails and boards sound in the deadness of the space. Wood begins to fill the windows on the lower floor, darkening the primary. Sterling looks to Britt, his eyes catching Owen and their new daughter, Faith. In one sweeping glance, go, he says in a harsh word, head jerking in the general direction of the primary. Without a word, Britt follows where Jamal and Molly had just gone. But as she passes Sterling, grabs her. Tucking Britt's head beneath his chin and gripping her skull, he whispers fiercely, never give in. Never, do you hear me? Yes, never. Britt's intensity matches his, and then she's gone, knocking on the primary door with a symbolic rat-a-tat-tat. A mumbled password follows that alerts who stands on the other side. My head swivels away from the heavily practiced protocol and back to the girl. I open my mouth to ask a question, but Roth speaks, saying the very thing I would have. Talk, now. The girl tenses, ready to bolt, the whites of her eyes too large, her chest rising and falling too quickly. Gonna hyperventilate. This helpful observation from Cope, of course. Duh. She straightens, clearly trying to rein in her panic. How long? Roth barks. She shakes her head. Spiral curls that are more matted than separate swing around her waist, having come loose from some kind of ponytail. I don't know, she admits softly, lower lip quivering. How many? Bren asks, then looks to Joe. You need to follow women, Joe. He says as gently as I've ever heard him speak to anyone. Fuck that, Bree says, her brown eyes flashing molten fire. I'm going to kick some gang ass if it kills me. Bren sighs, his face tightening. My wife is not being offered up as a sacrificial lamb, thanks anyway. I'll stay, volunteers Amanda. I know. Her eyes clench. I know how to kill. I scrub a hand over my face. Holy Christ. Cope snaps his head to look at her. The expression in his face is enough. He has claimed Amanda even if she doesn't want to be claimed or knows that it's happened. They exchange a full look. A few seconds pound by and Amanda finally says, I appreciate you wanting to protect me, Cope, but I need to add my hat to the defense ring. Cope's dark brows dump, shadowing his eyes, and as I watch those fine wheels of his mind turn, he says, I can't fight as well if I'm thinking of your protection. We're one date in, stud. Ugh, ouch. Cope pulls an offended face. Vaughn shoots a go-die look at Cope that he misses and I don't. It's enough, Kurt remarks offhandedly, then folds his arms across his chest, adding, Hey guys, do we actually have time to shoot the shit right now? Roth shakes his head. Agreed. Gonna offend some people, I suppose, this time. This time is the time to do it. Roth gives a hard look at Joe, echoing Bren with, Scoot, now. His eyes travel to my parents, who've just entered the loose circle with identical WTF expressions. Are you pregnant? Roth asks, Mom point blank. I turn, my mouth coming unhinged as I shoot her a betrayed look. Her face flushes a bright red as all the confirmation I need. I am, she replies. Guessing your parents are having sex is a hell of a lot different than proof. Juvenile, but true. God. You need to go with Joe to the primary, Protocol 1. Roth's stern expression settles on Amanda and Bree next. You two can't be convinced? They shake their heads in unison. Oh, fuck, he says with uncharacteristic profanity, running a hand through his short pepper and salt hair. Gage gives a yipping bark. You can hear up close, but not enough to alert anyone from a distance. That is by design. All the dogs are trained for protection and alerting us quietly, so the enemy won't know when they're coming, that we know they're coming. The men are close, I think, and a case of nerves settles like a lead weight in my guts. I'll get the artillery, Brent announces. Cope chases after him in his normal jog. Sterling follows. Roth turns his attention back to the girl. My name is Roth Fairchild, and this is my land, my house. He sweeps a palm toward the primary, and the girl's eyes flick to the log home, then back to Roth's face. We don't have the luxury of time for long, drawn-out intros, but know this is a secure location and has been for 3 years since the collapse. You are safe here as long as we draw breath, but I need to know, in the shortest explanation possible, who the hell is after you. And how many? I tack on. Roth jerks a thumb at me. What he said, but his eyes are past her on the landscape around her. The girl takes a step closer. I'm Myla. Myla with a long I sound, okay? She takes a deep inhalation, clearly fortifying herself. Been running from the Narrows for the last few days. Incredible she got this far, I think, remembering the Hood Canal Bridge violence and subsequent escape with near total recall, and the stories of the others' close escape from the Twin Narrows bridges. Vaughn gives a low whistle. Holy shit! Vaughn! Amanda shushes him with a frown. We're too tense right now for normal emotions, but Vaughn would have rolled his eyes if shit wasn't so dire. Gangs are following you, Roth guesses. Myla nods, and almost absently she untangles her hair from a worn hair tie and redoes it, kinda, into a ponytail of sorts. Not all the way from the bridges, but some splinter cells. My eyebrows drive up. Military speak. Huh. You military, Roth asks? She draws a bit closer. No, my dad was. Myla admits, casting her eyes away. Just that quick, I know the dad's gone. How many? Kurt asks. Myla gives him a look. A dozen, maybe less. Fuck, Vaughn says easily. My sentiment, exactly. With a calculating glance at the remaining girls, Myla begins to walk toward Bree and Amanda, her eyes warily keeping us in sight. When she reaches the women, Myla asks, They for real? Her large dark eyes search the women's faces. Yeah, Bree says. That's my smart-ass brother right there, so you're okay, Amanda says, throwing a smirk at Vaughn. Thanks for the bus toss, sis, Vaughn mutters. No problem, baby bro. But her eyes twinkle. And I'm amazed anew that in a time like this, with a dozen ill-intent fuckers headed our way, the siblings can joke. Humor is a step away from insanity, I figure. Up close, Myla is even smaller than I thought. She probably doesn't even weigh 100 pounds. Cheeks are sunken in so hard her dark eyes glitter like startled obsidian jewels in the lightest milk chocolate-hued skin I've ever seen. Bren, Cope, and Sterling stride to the now tight circle of my parents, Roth, the guys, and the SEALs. My eyes touch on the women, and on E strikes me like a snare drum. Don't love Amanda and Bree being out here, I say before I can help myself. No shit, Vaughn says in a perfect agreement, giving me a look like, nice observation, dumbest fuck. Kurt mutters assent. Bree scowls, eyes tripping over the SEALs. You know damn well and good I can fight like a guy. They won't expect that. She hikes her chin in classic Bree defiance, as I've come to think of it. Try shooting first, doll, Cope says, winking, and hands her a Glock, butt first. Her lips curl into a smirk. Yeah, smarter, not harder. You run out of ammo? Beat their brains in with the stock, Bren says nonchalantly, his brown eyes hard chips of dirty ice. Sterling snorts. Lips curling. Practical. Mom, I say, facing her. I know, Jackson. I'm not even going to ask about a new baby right now. Dad pushes up his glasses. I suggest you don't, son. Dad and I look at each other for a bloated moment. It's a different time, and Mom and I are living in the midst of it. You, of all people, should be fully aware. Focusing on not being an only child is selfish and not timely. Screw it, I'll figure out the emotional part of it later. If there's a later. I need to not focus on the awkward baby thing, but really, I don't want to lose my parents again. And if I don't lie to myself, and I'm not much in the habit of that, I'm terrified of anything happening to them. I didn't need to worry because Dad has it. A professor in his former life, he is lean to the point of gauntness now. Hard. Fierce. There is no evidence of the soft, easygoing intellectual man I was raised by. That's all been stripped away since the collapse. In all of us. Dad lowers his face and presses it to Mom's forehead. Join the other ladies in the primary, Julie. Tears run down her face. Don't you dare die on me, Derek. Her eyes give a guilty glance at me before moving back to him. They pull away and Mom's eyes clash with mine once more. You either, Jackson. Mom, I'm fine. I don't feel fine. I feel like someone tied my arms and legs and are pulling me inch by inch in opposite directions. I want to puke. I want to run. I want to shout my anguish and fear into an uncaring sky. I don't do any of that. Please, we're going to be fine. These punks are going to get their pee-pees whacked. Jackson, Orrin, Booker, Mom says in her sternest voice. We break into sudden grins. Go, I say softly. It's not an actual word I uttered, just me mouthing it. Mom goes. Dad watches her retreat for a moment, then he and I take stock of what dudes we have left, including Bree and Amanda. Myla. Just as I think Myla should join the other women being guarded by Jamal, the dogs all renew their growling as soon as the first of the marauders appear at the point where the asphalt still holds to the ground, and the Fairchild's neatly delineated gravel drive begins. They stay at that dividing line for the moment, taking in the seals and their weaponry. Hard to miss the crisscross of ammo, the noses of high-caliber rifles pointed at the heavens, the chubby pistol butts waving at them from our waistbands. Despite this, their eyes move to the women without a word. Roth, Vaughn, Kurt, and me close in behind the seals like a pack of wolves. I feel Dad's solid, warm presence at my back. Though I've got more height than him, Dad always feels taller somehow. Book, Sterling says. Yes, my flank. Brand stands to his right, and I automatically take the left position. Roth moves to stand in front of them because Cope already has his rifle scoped on the middle man of 10. Not the dozen Myla stated, but less is better, I think, with the barest amount of relief. State your case, Roth says in a loud, ringing voice so typical of the natural leader he is. The center dude, a huge lumbering fuck, calls out, The half-breed bitch is ours. We have rights to her. The leader yells back, Screw him and the donkey he rode in on, I think, seconds before a shot rings out to my left. We drop. But Kurt drops first, because he's been shot. I sink to my knees, slapping my palm on the hole in his chest as his wide eyes lock with mine. No, not Kurt. My gaze slowly rises above him, meeting a pair of eyes with a circle of metal pointed at my head. Man 11 and man 12. Myla didn't get the count wrong. I have time to think as the trigger clicks. The loudest sound of any of my life. I blink the second before the bullet will find me. They had classically distracted us. The dogs charge as the report from the bullet sounds, causing my ears to ring. A garbled scream burps out when the bullet meant for me takes Duke in the chest, dropping in midair. This can't be happening, my mind screams as Kurt's blood warms my palms. And then it does happen. Okay, greedy readers. That's right. That's chapter 1. I'm a fanatic about this series. I love it a lot. And I think what I love about it is very inspired. Started writing it in 2016, didn't pick it back up again until midway through COVID, and finished book 1 and 2 in short order. And I have quite a bit of admin work last year that I've gotten sorted, and now I'm getting back into the jig of writing, and it's good. it's a good momentum there. Yes, I'm wearing my pajamas because I feel so punky, guys. I just do. I feel punky. But I got my YouTube video done and I did exactly what I wanted to do. And then the next YouTube video, as I mentioned, is going to be talking about my OMAD experimentation that I'm really happy about. I did it twice now, and the second time was the charm, I guess. So I'm going to link below book 1 and book 2. If you're interested in reading it, they're free for you to read on Kindle Unlimited if you happen to have a subscription. And this book will be out this year. I'm figuring I'll have it done by June, and I'll have it completed and ready for upload in July, but I'll put it on pre-order once the rough is done. I feel pretty confident at that stage. Anyhow, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already so I can grow my channel. I'm really close to 500 subscribers, which is a lightweight monetization category. And that's a lot for a small channel like mine, where I don't just do a real themed type of content. I'm more of a variety content person because I feel strongly that I need to upload what I feel passionate about, or it's not fun. And if my channel doesn't grow really quick because I'm not being clickbaity or I don't have just one thing I'm focusing on, that's okay for me too. So anyway, love you guys. Thanks, and subscribe.